It seems harder to find a job than it ever has. When you apply for jobs, on average, it's taking 200 applications. When you do go to apply, there's 250 applicants on average for every job. What is the playbook for finding a job today? My name is Jason Roberts. I'm a recruiter. I've been a recruiter for 25 years. And what I want to walk you through is the modern playbook for finding a job. Stick with me. Before we get started, let me ask you a big favor. Do all those YouTube things, like this, hit subscribe, hit that bell icon so you can see content like this whenever it's available. I want to talk about two significant trends that are taking place in recruiting and end with a brand new tip that I haven't shared anywhere else before in order to jumpstart your search this year. The very first thing to know is that there's a much greater reliance on technology to do recruiting. Specifically, the very first person to look at your resume is not a recruiter, it's an applicant tracking system. This system, this ATS, is what sees your resume first. What happens is ATS takes all the resumes in and it says, right, let me sort the best fit resumes to the very top. And it does. It ranks you by relevance to the job that you've applied to. Now, how in the world do you get your resume ranked? Well, there's two things that you ought to do. The first thing is that you have to create a resume that is built for this age where it's going straight into technology, which means all the old stories like your resume should only be 2 pages long. It should be formatted in just such a way. I remember a time when you would give physical resumes, you'd print it on the fancy linen paper. We moved from that to, oh, I want a really nice graphic designed resume. We even had infographic based resumes for a while. None of that matters anymore. The system is ranking and matching in a relatively unsophisticated way for the most part, and it's using the text from your resume. So all that's important is the text. In fact, when it gets parsed into that system, it gets parsed as one big blob of text that then gets separated into separate fields that recruiters can then search for, and they get stored in a relational database. What does that mean to you? That means a really simply formatted resume is really the key. Now, I have a simple resume template I'm going to give you for free. It will be linked right here, and you can click that. That's a template that's been built for use with applicant tracking systems. What it's really good at is allowing the applicant tracking system to parse your resume, to take all the pieces out of the sections that it belongs in, put it where it belongs in their fields, and fix it for its database so that it can be used within that system. The other thing that I would encourage you to do is start using a skills section in your resume. Now, this was a wasted section for a while, and when you were looking to conserve space, people would discourage you from using it. Don't do that. Don't be discouraged. Use the skills section where you can list all the things that you've done, all the things that you're good at. And it can be a massive list. Way back when people actually looked at the resume itself, we would put it in white text in the background so that the database would pick it up. That doesn't work anymore because everything is copied and pasted. The white text isn't a thing anymore. But it also, when you're looking at the skills section, it doesn't have to be. Humans don't read the skills section. The machine reads the skills section. So build it for the machine, list all the things and make it comprehensive. Nobody cares. You can put it at the end of your resume where it won't slow down a recruiter because chances are they're not making it to the very end anyway, right? So you're building your resume for the machine in that case. The machine will see the full picture in a snapshot and it will rank you based on how many of the keywords that you have that it ultimately wants, and it will pull you up in relevancy, which is what you ultimately need. Right? So that's the first tip. Start building your resume for an applicant tracking system. Use a template that makes it really easy for the applicant tracking system to find you and makes it really easy to parse out your information, to pull out what's important. And then you're going to customize your resume for that thing by adding a skills section that's very clear on what you've done, and it is very comprehensive. Don't worry about the 2-page limit. The 2-page limit, if your skill section drops you past 2 pages, that's fine. Now, keep in mind the second person, the person that's actually the gatekeeper is a recruiter. What the ATS does is it takes those 250 applicants that are on average for every job, and it sorts those. It says the very best fits go to the top and the worst fits go to the bottom. So the skills piece helps you with that. But the very next person to read it is a recruiter. So you don't want to make it so unreadable and lengthy that the recruiter doesn't like it. So it's a happy balance, but if you put your information for the machine at the back, it doesn't hurt your chances with the recruiter. That's my advice to you. All right. The second thing to know in this market is because you're being sorted by relevancy, you should customize your resume every single time you apply. Now, that seems like a lot of work. And when I was coming up, I had one resume. I didn't customize my resume for every job. It was just sort of like, this is a document of everything that I've done. Here you go. But that's not what your resume is at all. Your resume is a marketing document, and its job is to get you to that next stage. Its job is to get you to a phone screen with a recruiter most of the time. And the way that you do that is you do that by making sure that you go to the top of their stack. You get seen first before the other 200 and some odd people. Now, here's the best method for that. You use ChatGPT to customize your resume. You have it read the job description, you have it read your resume, and update your resume to align the language with the job description. What this does not mean is that you lie. And you do not lie to say, I did something that I didn't really do. What you do instead is you say, if you're a software developer and they have software engineer on their job listing, you change the term to software engineer because they're interchangeable. And I don't trust the machines to know the difference. In fact, I work on the machines. A lot of them don't know the difference. All right. I'm going to put a link right here to a custom GPT that I built. This is actually a guide that I've built that allows you to either use my custom GPT or to just paste the prompts straight in. And the prompts actually ask you upload your resume and all that stuff. So it makes it super easy for you. I've built that a while back, and I now offer it to my friends like you. So just click right there and you'll find it. That's the next thing. You have to customize your resume every single time. And you've probably heard that before, but it's true. It's absolutely true. That's how you get seen. That's how you get ranked up in the actual job description. That's why you want to do it, right? So the modern job search is different. It's different than what it used to be. The last thing is, and this is a new tip that I haven't brought to anybody else in the past. I want you to not only rely on Indeed and LinkedIn and the regular places you apply for jobs. There's lots of fish in those seas, right? So lots of people are fishing there. What does that mean? I'd go find a different pond to fish in. That's what I would do. So I'm going to give you a resource. This is a brand new resource. Actually, a friend of mine built this, a guy named Chris. And Chris Russell, who's a guru when it comes to job boards. He's the person you go to for all this stuff. He built a place to look for specific niche job boards for your job. So I'm going to share my screen, have you take a look with me at Job Board Hive. Job Board Hive is where you go to see what all the different niche job boards are for the type of job that you're looking for. This is a way to break away from all the volume. With there's 250 people applying for every job on Indeed and on LinkedIn, you want to go somewhere else. You want to fish in a different pond. That's what Job Board Hive can do for you. So let's jump over there and take a look. This is Job Board Hive, and what it does is it lists based on the type of jobs that you're looking for: accounting, agriculture, architecture, all these different groups of jobs. Cannabis job boards. I didn't even know that was a thing. There are cannabis job boards. Let's take a look at this. Careers in cannabis, KK420, legal cannabis jobs, interesting, and cannabis is hiring at Vankst. Interesting. Okay. So you can click in, you go to that career site. Let's see it. And you get all the information about that particular job. Fascinating. And then I guess you just follow the URL to go to the job. Ha! Look at that. Who knew? Who knew there were cannabis jobs? I didn't know that was a real thing. So talk about being able to find all the different niche jobs in the market. You can find all the things here. Um, so let's look at some others that we're more likely to have in real life that some of you are going to look at. So let's look at tech jobs. See what we find. All right. So just doing a search brings up, of course, Dice is in here as the main crypto careers. So it's looking at any site that has tech jobs. But if we scroll down and look at tech specific job boards, which may be better, here we go, tech job boards. Ooh, AIjobs.net, that's interesting. Black tech jobs, black women talk tech, black tech pipeline, built in. I've heard of this one before. Cyber Jobs Hub. Dice, of course. I hire. Fascinating. Some startup jobs. Let's go to startup jobs, see what they do. Sure, I'll use your cookies. Cool. Very cool. So let's say I'm looking at most searched. Look at these things. Fascinating. What a great site. So what I would do is I would go to some of these places. Dice is the perennial technology job board that's been around forever. And I would go to some of these sites and apply here, right? So there's no harm in applying for jobs in different places, in places that are not your normal spot. And it's helpful to have options. It's helpful to reach out and look at new things. So thank you to my friend Chris Russell for putting this together. I think this is a great site, jobboardhive.com, and it's a great place to have all of your options open to you. So go check it all out. It's pretty cool. Jobboardhive.com.